Hi guys. It's Hino and today I am bringing a tier list video of what operators to invest into or to look out for as a F2P or Dolphin player. There will be a full summary at the end, so make sure to stick around until then. Laughing face. I will be going through all the operators released after Bagpipe excluding Rose's banner since she's already released. I will also be skipping some of the 5 and 4 stars who don't bring a big impact to the overall meta. Laughing face. The next upcoming banner is likely going to be Suzurin's banner, which includes Suzurin, Airscarp, and Click. Suzurin is a slow debuff type supporter, with skill 2 centered around DPS, much like Angelina's skill 3, but having an infinite duration, while skill 3 is a debuffing skill, slowing and debuffing all enemies in range while healing all allies at the same time. But overall, because of her awkward position in the meta and the fact that she is not that essential, I would put her at a low to medium priority. The next banner, Phantom, which also includes a must-pull at least for the guarantee in the form of Shamare. Shamare caused a lot of miming in CN when she was released because of her utterly broken skill 2, which resulted in a lot of CN players calling her the hidden 7-star unit in the game. This skill costs 30 SP to place a doll anywhere in the map that causes enemies to be debuffed by 50% on both their attack and defense upon Mastery 3. While we have a lot of defense debuff in the game already, Shamare is the first operator that debuffs enemy attack, which can really help when dealing with hard-hitting bosses like Patriot in Chapter 7. The doll also starts charging the moment it is placed with a 15-second duration, so it only has 15 seconds of downtime, and she also comes with Pramanix's talent, which causes enemies to take more damage at low health. Phantom, on the other hand, outclasses all of the 5-star fast redeploy specialists altogether. He is also the first operator with a clone of himself that inherits his skills, and with skill 3 Mastery 3 he can chain CC with his clone for 9 seconds, which is the longest duration of CC in the game. Otherwise he can also use his skill 2, which is a stackable attack buff that consumes a layer on every attack. He's not that much of a priority because of the W and Weedy banner that comes straight afterward, but if you are like me and just like husbandos, you can go for it if you have the pity saved up. The anniversary banner contains 2 6-star units, W and Weedy, as well as the 5-star DP printer archetype Vanguard, Elysium. W might be limited unit in this banner, but the real star in my opinion is Weedy. Weedy is the first shift operator to reach up to 7 force, compared to Feater's 3 at max, which allows her to disrupt Frost Nova's Black Ice as well as Patriot's Spear. Her skill 2 allows her to push infinitely at medium force at Mastery 3, and her skill 1 stuns enemies on every push. Her skill 3 also deals true damage per tile traveled, making her very useful in general maps, as well as she can just yet a wave into oblivion. She can also summon a robot cannon, which is basically undestroyable since it is coded the same as Silence's drone. This cannon recovers 1 SP when it's placed adjacent to Weedy, effectively cutting down her cooldown for skill 3 from 33 seconds to 27 seconds. If you add in Tilipsis's skill regeneration, this leaves her final cooldown at 17 seconds, give or take. This little cannon is also really good at stalling small mobs in clears like Shattered Avenue in later contracts. In short, Weedy is absolutely broken and you should pull her immediately. The limited operator of the banner is W, who is also powerful in her own right but unfortunately is not as broken as Weedy. W is a crowd control centered AoE sniper, having really strong skills on all 3 slots. Suffice to say, if you get W you can just shelve all of your other AoE snipers since she is in a league of her own. Her 2 passives improve her kit immensely, the first providing her with both 60% physical and magical evasion and the second giving her additional damage to stunned enemies. Basically, if she is your waifu, go for it and you won't regret it. Otherwise there is no need to wail for her. The 5* in this banner is Elysium, who is basically a whale's plaything, but you are guaranteed to get 50 copies of him pulling for either W or Weedy, so all I am going to say is that he augments Myrtle very well, and is really useful for Dark Knight's Memoirs mini annihilation map as well as DP bursting in late game maps. He is also a max pot simulator for all of your snipers. E.g., Exige at 12 cost at max pot will be 10 cost after you deploy Elysium. Thorns banner comes with the rerun of Summer event along with Swartz and Hell Aga, and he is one of the best DPS units favored by the current CN meta, having DPS almost on PAR with Blaze skill 2. The meta in CN is skewing more towards high consistent damage, which is pushing big burst DPS like Silverash skill 3 and Ejafyala skill 3 out of the limelight, with a focus on consistent DPS units such as Surtr and Thorns. HG are coming out with maps that has high damage medium health enemies in large amounts instead of mini bosses like Pompeii and Crown Slayer, which means that if you use an operator with a big burst skill like Silverash on skill 3, it might put a lot of pressure on your healers to keep him alive when his skill is on cooldown. Compare that to the relatively low cooldown of Thorn's skill 3 at 15 seconds, he is a great choice to pick up if you don't have good DPS guards. The 5-star on this banner is Andreana, a marksman archetype long-range sniper who deals staggeringly high amounts of damage once you max her out. A maxed out Andreana can deal up to 3.7 thousand damage per hit, which means that she can one-hit KO most small mobs, and can still deal considerable amounts of damage against meat shield type enemies, almost 1/4 health in one hit. Her HP limit on skill 2 also makes her a really good HP limiter for most enemies since she hits until the limit and does not have to wait for the limit like Provence. She is like a vacuum cleaner. The last unit on the banner is J, a new fast redeploy archetype who can heal and deal damage at the same time. He is a priority for free-to-play and people just starting out to get. J can silence on skill 1, and on skill 2 he turns into a mini Nerl and starts healing allies around him every time he hits something, and the heal is pretty substantial, healing 40% of his attack per hit. If you are just starting out and do not have good medic units, J can alleviate some of the healer's pressure once you put him down. Just be warned that once you put him down you cannot regenerate cost points unless you have a vanguard deployed. Eunectes banner comes with the new summer event in CN and includes flint and acid drop. Eunectes is a duelist defender archetype with only one block and deals really high damage along with crowd control with her skill 2. Using skill 2 continually stuns an enemy blocked by her for the duration of the skill, which makes this an 18-second stun, the first of which to appear in the game. Using this skill can allow you to cheese stunnable bosses such as Patriot and Faust, as well as just making some enemy mobs have a bad day. Once you use her skill 3, Eunectes chugs the steroid juice and becomes an actual defender, starts healing herself but becomes stunned for 5 seconds after. She's a solid operator, but gets overshadowed by surtr coming right after her when she does her job but at a much lower cost of 21 versus 33. Sertra is the star of almost all of the newly released 6-star operators, being an arts guard duelist archetype like Moose and Aesthesia but absolutely blowing them out of the water. She is on PAR with Silverash and Ejafyala in terms of damage, and one of the few 6 stars where all 3 skills are viable for Mastery 3. Skill 1 is a rechargeable steroid after 3 hits that refunds all the SP if the enemy dies during skill usage. Skill 2 is a general use skill that increases her attack range as well as allowing her to hit up to 2 enemies just like Aesthesia, and further increasing her attack stat if she only hits 1 enemy in the skill duration. The low cooldown of this skill also means that it is very useful in dealing with waves of hard-hitting mobs. Skill 3 is the boss buster skill, with the only downside being that surtr commits seppuku after the skill ends. However, during the skill duration, she deals absolute bonkers DPS, averaging at around 1k damage on Patriot who has 90 magic resist. This skill is very useful in situations with high priority targets like double Pompeii or the elite mobs in the newer event maps. Overall, if you are a F2P you should aim for either Thorns or surtr as one of your DPS units to get in the future. The newest and brightest 6-star in CN right now is Blemish, a healing DPS defender who deals hybrid magic and physical damage. For pure healing she is not as good as Sertra, but she has very good synergy with Surtr's skill 3, essentially giving her another 27 seconds of potential DPS with skill 3, where she heals for almost 1000 per hit. But not being able to heal herself with skill 3 and 2 gimps her potential as a pure healer defender a bit. Blemish is not necessary or essential by any sense of the word, but having very good art and being voiced by Kana Hanazawa might give her more points for being pulled. Like me who spent $30 on her banner, there are no regrets if you do pull her, since she can augment your team if you do not have a healing defender at all, and if you are a F2P newbie, pulling her can boost your team composition by quite a bit, since at lower levels you need operators who do a lot of things at once, and Blemish can both heal, do damage, and tank at the same time. All in all, that is all I have to say for the current units. I'm really happy with the way HG is shifting the meta and the inclusion of very unique 6 stars with the addition of Blemish and Eunectes, though they might be niche, but it is still fun playing with them. See you guys in my next video 3.